So, as I was started with saying, I was on your side the entire first season. I was like, I see what's going on. You know, I mean, obviously.
You're a smart dude.
Now, are we going to eventually see where you got the diary? When you got the diary?
Yes, in this season, by the episode 6 or 7, I can't remember now exactly, we will, Lucy got sick of it, and it was a really bad trip to the past, and she comes to Flynn and says, okay, no bullshit, sit down and tell me, how'd you get the diary? And I tell her. And that's a start. Okay. But it's an interesting story that sets up kind of like the new third season, and it's changing of the rules, and you know, it's like the future is going to bring new technological developments, and
you may not
I
just
can't say
travel
more than that.
backwards.
You
may see a little bit more forward, or the possibility of jumping forward.
We'll see. You know, it's like everything is open. But yeah, we definitely will see how Flynn ends up with the journal. Yeah.
Do you at all have a desire to just steal the lifeboat this season?
We've been discussing that, and Flynn tried so many times, and he had a better lifeboat. He didn't need the charger. He had a plutonium device that was actually, the lifeboat was always charged, and he had resources, and he was not able to bring his family back. So now in this situation, he knows if he steals the lifeboat, he doesn't have a support mechanism to maintain this kind of like crappy lifeboat. Because his lifeboat was so much more advanced. He's kind of like, first time he sits on this lifeboat, it's kind of like really? Like, is this thing gonna explode or something? You know, it's kind of funny. So no, he kind of like thinks they figured out finally that Rittenhouse is a bad guy, and they're going after it. So he's like, they're aligning the interests, and he's going to be with them as long as they do the same thing that he wants to do. But how long that's going to take, we'll see. You know. But for now, he's going to be happy. But he's still in jail. He's going to come out soon. You're going to probably see it in about half an hour. Yeah.
Flynn's priority has always been his family, but now he's sort of aligned with the time team. If he had a chance to get his family back, would you think twice about betraying the team?
At this time, probably he would, because he knows, as we are going to see, I don't know where we are now, he knows that whatever's given can be taken as easy. You know, so Rittenhouse, now with the lifeboat, they can actually bring his family back if they want, just to mess up the whole team and make Flynn, I mean, maybe they can blackmail Flynn with, we're going to bring your family back if you're going to damage the lifeboat or the time team. So there's a lot of possibilities. So he's definitely not going to do anything like that. He wants to play with time team and try to destroy Rittenhouse in the past, because that's the only way to get his family back. So he's not going to go try to do it like, kind of like small incisions here and there. They're really going for destruction of the Rittenhouse deeper in the past. And that way, if they complete that, one day they come back, things should be back to where they were.
Speaking of old school Rittenhouse, I know you haven't had to interact with him. What do you think of what Lucy's grandfather is trying to do?
Well, we have kind of detailed explanation in this season. I mean, it sounds a little bit vague in the first, when you just hear it. But it's kind of like, you know, what Nazi Germany tried to do with the Aryan race. You know, they tried to purify. If you see a man in a high castle and that struggle with son who is challenged development, you know, they would just destroy all of that. You know, they would just have like perfect specimens. They want to kind of like, what's the word, you know, to clear the race and to become like humanity, to become like perfect. They want to kind of like artificially make development what they consider positive development of the humanity in this direction. And by changing the different things in the past, and this episode we have actually some really cool, our history guy is really amazing. He was able to trace so many events back to the source, and that would be a person that Rittenhouse is going to go for, and it's somebody you never heard of probably, and then you would, after a good episode of Timeless, people go to Wikipedia and Google, and they're like, oh my God, really? So you're going to have a couple of surprises like that, and you're going to see that this one person, that because of something he did, that all these things happened, this big tree kind of grew in the future, and if you really remove this one person, there's a good possibility that tree is going to be much smaller or not even developed. So we're kind of focusing on that right now, and I think it's a pretty kind of menacing idea of the future world. It's like, who are you to do that? But that's what they want to do.
Some of the characters on the show have kind of fanboyed or fangirled over the historical figures that they've been able to meet. Who would you fanboy over that you would meet?
Well, my character, especially in the last season, was so on a mission that he wasn't kind of fanboying or whatever. But I had a little bit kind of like when I walked into that tent of General Santa Ana. That was the first time that Flint went kind of like so far back into the past, and I just had a little smirk on my face walking in, and kind of like, is this for real? I mean, it's General freaking Santa Ana. And I kind of like, I'm walking into that tent and I got this little smile. There was no script. There was nothing was scripted for me to do or say, but I just kind of walked in and I kind of had this, And it was just the fact that he kind of like, when you see him kill Abraham Lincoln, that's pretty much as big as it can get. So he was not fanboying over that. He just literally executes the guy. And that was kind of pretty much unbeatable with size of the historical figure and what you're going to do to him. That's like, I need to talk to my son for an hour before I let him see that.
What would you imagine television film would be like without Citizen Kane?
Yeah, no, have you seen the episode?
Yeah, I've seen the episode.
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting question, But so, that's kind of tracing it to the source, what I was talking about before, And we're going to be, music was always connected with peace movement in the 60s, with Vietnam War and all of that. So if you made some changes in the past about the music, the question is, would rock and roll develop in that way? Would peace movement develop in that way and all that stuff? So it's unlimited amount of answers and questions, You just go back and remove one thing of the puzzle. Is everything going to crumble down, or is it going to be kind of on a shaky ground? And it's all about that.
Is there any historical figure that you personally would love to just like work on the not necessarily? Okay, you start over. A historical figure you'd like them to bring into the story so that you can at least work with them on the screen.
The problem is, people I would like to meet, they're further back in the past, and we seriously have no business going further back than like Revolutionary War. It's like going back before that. We already established who Rittenhouse was, who was actually the guy who started all of that. We killed the guy, and his line continues. We could come up on something. If the show continues.
If you bring Bonnie and Clyde into this whole thing, it seems like pretty much any.
I'm more into kind of like, if you talk about geeking into history, I would kind of like to see Michelangelo. I would like to see, safely, like building up the pyramids. I don't want to end up as a guy pushing the rock. You know what I mean? As an observer, I would like to see many things back in the past. I would like to see Santorini. Was that real Atlantis or no, or was it just kind of like an island that Plato kind of built up the story, but it was actually Atlantis? Those things I would like to see. Like last kind of 200 years that was so close to me in a way. I was born in a city, cathedral in my hometown was built in 1500s, so it's kind of like, for me, that the last 200 years, we traced literally the house where my grandpa lived. So it was kind of like, it's too close to me, and I kind of think of history more from Renaissance back, Even like 17th century is still kind of like relatively fresh because, the city I was, you walk every day on like, everything looks like pretty much from the 16th century, my hometown. You know, it's like all built in stone, and it's like unchanged, except you got like satellite dishes on it, and you got glass windows and stuff like that. But the houses and buildings are. So for me, from Renaissance back, you know, Egypt, old. I mean, wouldn't you go outside of Troy on the last day and see, did they actually build a freaking horse? You know, that would be cool.
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys. Thank you.
Odysseus. I mean,
Yeah.
but that's the further back you go. I don't think I need to talk to Sean.